Have fun, man. It won't last forever, believe me. It will actually last very quickly. I control this, I don't control this. Alright, enjoy. Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today a Golgari deck. Finally, we can play Golgari on ladder. It's crazy, I know. And we have some really nice tools. You probably have seen some of them, maybe not all. Evolving Adaptive, a 1 mana drop that basically is a pelt collector, in a way. Every time a creature comes into battlefield with more power than this, it gets a counter. It comes with one counter, so it's 1 mana 1/1. Then you play a 2-drop, then it's 2/2. Then you play 3-drop, then it's 3/3. You get the idea, right? Extremely powerful card. You will see it one of the games. Mana base is really tricky, but I think we kinda made it work. Bushwhack and Tail Swipe, of course, the fight spells for the Obliterator, so that's the moment. This card you probably know by now, and your opponent won't be enjoying hitting this Phyrexian horror, so you need to force him. That's what we do, right? This is the control spirit in the Golgari. And the fight spell, of course, force this to fight an opponent's creature. Usually, from my experience, it's shrouded. Somehow it's shrouded. This will die. Shrouded will die, and then your opponent is getting a prompt, please sacrifice 4 permanents, and that usually destroys their whole board and like half of their mana base, and they cannot recover from this usually. Black Sun's Twilight, March removal, basically, that if X is 5 or more, you get a creature directly to the battlefield. It's tapped, but it's in the battlefield. And don't forget, this is an instant. You can summon creatures at instant speed, at end step of your opponent's turn, while also killing his stuff, so that's pretty glorious. I will make probably more decks with this. Run, Executioner Thane. Alright, you will see it in one of the games at least, and you will get some commentary on what I think about this card, so here, you need to watch the video now. But alright, I will tell you, I wouldn't craft it. It feels a bit... It didn't feel like super strong. I think you need sacrifice effect, that you sacrifice your creatures and your opponent doesn't have any say. If he has removal, he will remove this one first, so you know. And you lose 1 power a turn because Underdog has just more damage. So if you switch Underdog, like, you get the same damage in the different form usually, on top of the Blitz, right? So, Glissa. Oh my god, this card. You probably noticed that it's being talked about, that it's extremely powerful, and that's no joke. It looks great, it looks super powerful, and I will tell you this, she's even better than she looks like. The fact that First Strike Death Touch means that the whole board is basically dead when she's around, so she needs to be dealt with directly, and if your opponent doesn't have removal, he cannot attack you. This kills Shrouded, Trespasser, like, it kills everything. So pretty darn good. And the fact that you can just leverage her and draw cards every single turn is just insane, especially that you usually draw another creature, so then you can play the creature and you have a defender. Destroying target enchantment, I didn't really use it, but it is relevant, it hits a lot of stuff. And remove up to 3 counters from target permanent, that's pretty insane. It has more uses than you think. You can attack Planewalkers with this one, because as you remember, the loyalty Planeswalkers' health is loyalty counters, basically, so you can basically deal 3 damage to a Planeswalker, and you can also interact with things like Blast Zone that you would never think normally. Alright, and Archfiend of the Dross, my personal favorite, definitely because the art is super cool, and it's so cool that I just look at it and think, wow, it's so cool. Like, seriously, it's so cool. This is probably the coolest Phyrexian I have seen so far. And yeah, there's also a card with text. 4 mana, 6/6 flying creature, and it comes with 4 oil counters. At every upkeep, you remove 1. If there are no counters, you know, something happens. There's a small drawback. Yeah, you lose the game, alright? You lose the game. When it has 0 counters, you explode. That's some drawback. However, the point of this card, and it also has passive, it's so threatening that it cannot be ignored for 4 turns in a row. That's why it has flank, so your opponent cannot just keep blocking with Wedding Announcement. So this just kills your opponent in 4 turns. So that's pretty sweet, and usually he just needs to ignore it. You don't want it as an only attacker, you want to pressure your opponent before it comes into play, and then you can waste one turn to kill, for example, Planeswalker, and then keep attacking his face. So I didn't lose any games due to this whole thing effect, right? But it can happen, I guess. You can always remove it with Go for the Throat or just fight something with Death Touch or bigger stats. You know, there are ways, but usually you just win the game before it happens. Yeah, and the passive is that when your opponent loses a creature, he loses also 2 life, which is relevant because at some point he will be forced to chump block your stuff. Maybe not the Obliterator, but the other stuff. And then it means that he still takes the damage, so that's pretty sweet on top of everything else. Don't forget 3 creatures means he basically got hit by this 1 extra time, so you have more time before the game ends. Pretty sweet. I wouldn't craft it honestly yet, because it sometimes just dies and doesn't do anything, but so far I actually liked it. I kinda liked it, and I'm playing it for the art as well. Nissa, Ascended Enemies. This is the card that surprised me the most. I wasn't like the biggest fan, of course it's a good card, but I didn't think that I will enjoy it so much. But when I played her, like, man, she's really good. I mean, really good, and somehow she usually doesn't die, I don't know why. And the fact that she's between 5 mana cost and 7 mana cost is so insane, like, you can basically play her at every of the 3 turns on curve. And every time, you know, you get the full value from this, and the fact that she grows every turn while making a huge threat is just insane. I really enjoy this card, and the -1 is relevant. There are a lot of enchantments and a lot of artifacts. And -7, if you basically play her for the full price of 7 mana, you can instantly ultimate, and your board will probably kill your opponent. So even if you are on the last stick of the Archfiend, and your opponent thinks, I will just chump block it with 1/1 with flying, you just play Nissa, you ultimate, and your board absolutely murders him, and it wasn't even close. So pretty sweet. I really hope you enjoyed this long introduction, because I recorded it already twice or 3 times actually, and I don't want to do it over again, so I hope you like it. I hope you appreciate some Golgari love. I really enjoyed this deck. It can be a bit clunky, fair warning. You probably really want to play everything on curve, on the play, and then the power level of your deck is absolutely insane. However, if you miss one of the key turns, it gets rough, and it depends, you know how your opponent drew on the opening as well, as usually. So don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the game. We are going first, and that's an interesting hand, honestly, the rest of our turn, and I think I will do it. Like, this is really important that I hit my basics right now. Man, they're so similar, you can mistake them even. And this way we have a little bit of curve going on, you know? Okay, 2 is a little bit too much, so let's go with the Vraan. He's Executioner, by the way. You know, just to keep things going. Like, if he dies, whenever one or more creature, or more other creatures, you monster. Alright, so what is the play? Probably this, because we really want as much power as possible. We will never hit a creature deck with this one. I don't need more mana, honestly. At least not for now. But you know what? We have other fight spells, so let's go for this one. And let's just go for this one. Maybe we draw Obliterator and we actually want as many swamps as we can. We also make our draws a little bit better, though it's like minuscule difference. Like, not really feelable. Alright? Our cool might. Like, the arms always get me. Alright, Fable. Oh, alright. Told you. So I think this is the play. This way we can obliterate whatever he plays, and we know that Fable will flip at some point. That's a nice 5 damage already. And we are already guaranteed to drain him just a little bit. So let's see what he does. I wonder how Vraan will perform. Like, so far it's okay, but we kinda missed... Like, if that was an underdog, we would get extra 1 damage a turn. So if he just deals 2 during the whole thing, Like, this is the same damage as Underdog, you know? And the Underdog, of course, has, you know, this whole Blitz ability that is quite popular. So we will see, we will see. This is probably his first removal, right? Right, 4 mana, my friend. 3 black, 3 red, 1 blue. Alright. I mean, that's something. Definitely doesn't super hurt. I guess we are forced to do this. And you know what? I don't love it, but it's not the worst. And drawing cards is really cool. Alright, we needed this one to play Obliterator, but it's fine. I hope he taps out and plays something massive, because then we can force him to... we can force him to... Oh boy, this will hurt so much. This will hurt him like hell. Oh, I wish I had more mana, because then I could double fight and I would kill all of his permanents. Yeah, have fun, man. It won't last forever, believe me. It will actually last very quickly. I control this, I don't control this. Alright, enjoy. He can only sacrifice 1 land, but then it means that the whole rest of the board needs to be sacrificed. I think he should go 2 lands, 1 Kiki-Jiki. It depends. If he has a creature for Kiki-Jiki, he should leave it. But that's a lot of permanents. This definitely helps a little bit. I could also go for Kiki-Jiki and just get free stuff. Maybe that would be better, but I really wanted to get rid of the Shrouded, to be honest. Alright, I'm such a dummy. It is a 5/5. So yeah, 1 more permanent. Actually, I missed. For some reason, I thought Shrouded didn't die in combat, you know? You know, you don't need to know cards that you play. It's fine. Alright, so I think we just go Tenacious Underdog, right? As long as I keep playing clans. Obliterator. Oh, he only has black and red. What is his removal so far? Damage based. I'm playing this because so far he only has shown that he kills creatures with damage. And also he cannot block this because then he loses everything. So I'm hopeful, and the blood token popping off, I think that's a good sign that he doesn't have the answer right now. Yeah, Spell Pierce. I mean, it had its use during 1 point of the game, but you tapped out, my friend. He freaking has it, of course. Alright. Alright, but we have Trespasser. It will hurt, like, the mana that he lost is absolutely brutal. This is the worst land we could ever draw, by the way. I think we go like this. It trades very nicely, it's hard to kill. And every attack will hurt. Let's go with Shrouded, because that's the biggest threat, and they play Takenuma, like everyone, right? I definitely want to cycle. So we will cycle the land at the end step. Like, we do not have value. And if we drew a land normal, we would just get extra Underdog, and that would be absolutely amazing. But, you know, you cannot have it all, it seems. You cannot have it all. And he's really low on life. Alright. Man, those lands really hurt him. He is basically trying to get through his early game to our 7 mana. Okay, 6, but 7 sounds a bit better. Ooh, that's something. I can do it like this. And he kinda is forced to block, because otherwise we just kill him, right? Man, it's so close. And then we play Underdog. And then it's even harder for him. Good choice. Yeah. So he really wants to attack with the thing. I don't think he will exile both of the Underdogs, so that's why I play like this. And here's the Obliterator. I have to say, forcing your opponent to sacrifice stuff is really fun. So they have 5 mana, that's no joke, but they cannot kill us in this turn. And if they tap out or they don't leave anything to block, we just Underdog them. And we have quite a lot of mana, so we can pay the tax for make disappear. They have shown that they play mana-based counter spells. So I think Make Disappear should also be here, especially with all the creatures that he's using. So, Explosion, my friend, you are at 1. By the way, a Trespasser from the top just wins the game outright. Did they... they did discard it, didn't they? Alright. I will do it. I will do it. It's not the best play in the world, but if I draw land I can double Underdog and just go from there. And I really don't want him to get free mana. We really worked hard to not give him this. Yeah, I mean, this is what we need, kinda. And this is what we will do every turn, until we kill him. He needs to kill both, so that's not super easy. Is that enough red mana for a red Invoke? I hope it's not red Invoke. Let's see. I want to see what happens, and that's what happens. Alright, I would say good game, but he didn't, so you know, I don't want to be mean. Well, that was really intense. Going second. I would definitely prefer to go first with this hand, but we'll try to make it work. Is this mono blue? No, Azorius. It might be Azorius control, right? Seems like it. You know what, in the worst case, if we actually miss the land, we will at least set up for later, and we will hit Obliterator then, because we will take a swamp. And if we draw a land, which we really should at some point in Magic, like curving up to 3 is not a miracle, but it definitely is for me today. It's just not possible. I have not played a single game when I curved out. I think. Alright, enough. Enough. Sorry for this. It's just a bit ranty. And let's attack with the Underdog. It's just a bit frustrating, you know, to not be able to play a single game normally. At some point I would really like to play my deck. And I'm not playing my deck right now. I'm playing against... oh my god, it's just so weird. So, for this turn, the turn is absolutely dead and we didn't do anything right now. So, our game plan is just... yeah, and now he untaps, he has the Emperor, so let's go like this, because he really wants to kill the Underdog with the Emperor. Perfect. Probably the first time in history when someone was happy about it. We do not have a fight spell, so what we will do, probably, is go Trespasser? Is Trespasser really the best? We have to go Obliterator. We have to. This is the whole point of the deck, right? Archfiend could also be great, but this has a little bit, you know, drawback if he like tries to block with the token or, you know, things like this. So I would guess this is another Emperor. So if I attack, he gets rid of it. He doesn't draw a card, then I play Nissa. I don't really want to minus her, but then we get rid of the Bankbuster. I would still prefer to +1. I will attack. Alright. At some point you will lose the Emperors, right? I think it is possible. Alright.
My judgment is fine.
So now I think it's Nissa. I really want to make sure that she comes into the board. And we won't get better chance than this probably. A 4/4. That's something, but he needs to play quite well. He needs to put a counter here and kill the token. So I guess Nissa will die. Yeah, he's doing it. However, if he just attacks on this one, like even with the Bankbuster, I will just block. Okay, that's the Gauntlet. And the Silex. Alright, that's an interesting one. I would really love this card to be played, like seriously. Super cool card overall, but a bit slow. Silex. So he actually wants to, I think he considers just blowing up the tokens, but then he loses his own token. I'm not sure if he realized it. Alright, that's a one counter a turn. Alright, so do we trade? That's an interesting call. Because we got quite a lot of value, to be honest. We are stuck in the worst mana possible. Not 6, not 4. Alright, so I mean we'll just keep making stuff, I guess. Like, our stuff is pretty good. Do I want to go Trespasser? Trespasser is better at just being removed, you know? He will put a lot of counters on this one. So let's go actually for this. Because this makes it very hard for him to defend the Emperor. So he probably needs some kind of serious removal on this one. Because Emperor will have a lot of loyalty after this turn. So if we played a 3-drop, it just wouldn't be enough to kill the Emperor with all the extra loyalty. And right now the Sylex is not hitting anything, because like we have either 0 or 4 and he's like in between. But the Sylex is kinda scary. We definitely need to do something about it. Alright. Is he trying to force us into losing the game with the Archfiend? I think it is possible. I think it is possible. Let's start with the Gauntlet, because if he wants to put extra counters on the Emperor, he needs to do it right now. Alright, no extra counters. Cool. So we will, or we just try to kill him. No, Emperor is important. I think it's worth it, and we should be able to push enough damage in time to force him to react to the Archfiend.
See you later.
And even though Boseiju is nice, I really want to double spell on this turn. This is really important that we do it. This is the first one, so it's harder to counter. I think there is a chance this is why it went through. And let's go with the Banebuster. No, Emperor. If they have some Invoke or something like this, I don't want to see the Emperor again. We don't get the damage, unfortunately. And this will be countered, but we still need to play it. And I prefer this one because the Trespasser is a bit harder to like point and click remove. And this still might work, you know? Who knows? Who knows? And I'm really trying to defend the Nissa because she needs to kill the Sylex on the next turn. Right now, 2 mana doesn't hit anything, right? So he needs to tap the Sylex and also untap before we react. But that will be hard overall. Our opponent is really tanking on this one. Is he having like a make disappear? Or maybe a hard counter spell and he's thinking, what is the follow-up to this? I wonder, I wonder. Look at this, he's so cute. We definitely need more pets like this. I actually don't think he's roping, I think he's thinking about whether to counter it or not. I wonder why is it such a hard decision though. Maybe he doesn't know what is the next turn's play, like Invoke Despair. Maybe he's trying to find, oh, do they play Invoke Despair? What's up? What's up with this whole deck? Or maybe he's just roping and I'm giving him too much benefit of the doubt. But man, Nissa Ascended Enemies, like I have to say, this card definitely dominated the whole game so far. And by the way, if we hit a single removal, we can just kill our Archfiend. So we don't even need to kill him in time, if we really have to. But I would much rather him to remove it. It's 18 damage already. And it's hard to block with flying. Do they really rope? Maybe they got disconnected. I don't want to believe he just rage quit randomly after Glissa. Man, art on this card is just so amazing. Like, I love it so much. Alright, this is the last rope. What are we doing, my friend? This is the fun part of this card. Like, normally you have those lose the game conditions when, you know, after few turns or something like this. I know it's a few turns, but the point is that when you lose this, suddenly you are not losing the game. And the whole point, this card is so strong that your opponent has to react to it. Otherwise he does that. I don't know what's going on, so we will cut the video. That's Mythic. I don't know what happened. Maybe he didn't have enough counter spells or he couldn't answer the Archfiend and he just rage quit. I don't know, that's weird. A lot of 3-drops, but on the play definitely doesn't hurt as much. I think we'll have a little bit more time to decide. Let's go with the Painland first because it's just easier and there is still chance we play it on curve. A small chance, but it might happen. And this is definitely, well, a land, I guess. Like, this is a second black one, right? I can make sure that Obliterator will be there if I want, but fight spell actually is incredibly important. Like, we need some kind of removal probably. Yep, Sorcerer. Like, so far we are actually doing it. So this will be a removal at the end step, so in this case you always play Trespasser, even though Glissa is way better. But she's not better at being removed. Trespasser is the MVP of being removed by... Oh no! Oh no! It's still a good decision, but yeah, Edict is brutal for Trespasser, especially if you miss your 2-drop, right? I hope he taps out. Perfect. He thinks that this play cannot be punished. And we will show our friend that this is exactly the play that will get him punished. I should play different round. I messed up a little bit. Unless... Oh, you guys would never forgive me if I didn't do the thing. Alright, you will get it, alright? You will get it. He will sacrifice a lot of permanents. And the beautiful part about this whole thing is that Glissa cannot be ignored. Unfortunately, he got the best case right now, so we will lose Obliterate and he needs to sacrifice 3 permanents on top of Sleeper. But we will make sure it is possible. Alright. Pain. He cannot cut down the Obliterator and he cannot cut down the Sleeper. I control this and you control this. I wish it was 4-4, it would be so much better. But I think we will still make it work, you know? So we will get our opponent down to what, 2 lands and no Liliana? Or just 1 land? Oh, that feels really good. Alright, I'm not sure if we win, but that was still epic. Well, we won't win, not with this kind of draws. Boseiju, of course, is something that can be used. Yeah, with those draws, even sacrificing so much will probably not help. We need our late game. Like, if we hit Nissa right now, that would be great. Alright, so I'm actually taking it. At least for now. Oh, our 1-drops are finally here. It was still worth it. To be honest, guys, the best play was just to play Glissa, fight the whatever he had. Then he would play Liliana and then we play Obliterator probably. But still, I liked my play. It's just bad draws, you know? Sometimes it's just bad draws and nothing else. Let's go for the forest, I guess. And just try to smork him. We will be forced to defend the Sleeper, unfortunately. I mean, there's not much point in both keeping it and playing it. It was still pretty epic. Yeah, our opponent is just recovering like a boss. His draws are really good so far. And if we hit our 4-drop that, you know, tries to win the game, we would be... Yeah, we have way too much life for this one right now. And he is the glutton exactly countering whatever we are doing right now, which is pretty hilarious, to be honest. Oh, I'm so sad. It went so well, but when you overdraw your lands in your, you know, your deck that plays a little bit of them only, it kinda sucks. We can kill the Sleeper. Or we can kill the glutton. He will just pump it, draw a card and trade for both. I will go for this one. I will go for this one. Trespasser is a 3-3, so on this turn he cannot at least attack without being punished. He still probably will attack, and that's a good trade for him. Yeah, easy draw. Oh, I'm so sad. That was so epic, but you still need some kind of follow-up. Well, we invested the death touch into the Obliterator, I guess. But it would be great if we didn't draw, like, you know, only lands. I mean, like, only lands. Can I draw a card that is different than... This is what I mean, guys. This is exactly what I mean. Let's give him good game. Oh, this feels so bad. Our opponent goes first. We have some nice opening. This card is definitely worth a lot. And we carve out very nicely. This is one of the issues I had with, like, you know, getting this deck done. Because you really want green mana on your first turn, but you still need mostly black mana, and that's weird. Alright, so we play a Swamp for sure. We don't really gain anything, but it's better to go the adaptive later. Like, we miss a little bit of value, but it's not a big one. It's probably Trespasser into Glissa. Alright, Augur. Alright, so I think we will... Oh! And now it's not so easy anymore. Man, like, this scales like crazy. This is a 1 mana 3/3. And normally he would just take the damage, but right now, like, what is he supposed to do? I think we go like this. This is like higher value drop, and we still get to draw a card, which is absolutely amazing. Man, like, we are going off. Geeks is actually pretty amazing in this kind of deck. Alright, it's not indestructible right now. Can be the target of non-green. We actually have green removal. How fun is that? Alright, so... Do I have enough? Yep. I would love to play a bit more, but we have to go like this. I need Glissa on the board. Alright. I could trade both of them for a card, but... Vraan, or whatever it's called, it's definitely a big chunk of meat, you know? Like, he's a chunky boy. 5/5. A lot of text, that's for sure. I'm happy I don't play control right now, because this is such a pain. It also cannot be countered, just in case. Alright, let's go like this probably. No, we can play it later. And Takenuma will get Glissa back, right? Oh, but we want to attack. Alright. Alright, this will be a bit of a weird one, but we'll go like this. So he can blow everything that has 3 mana cost, or, you know, or more, but... Or actually exactly 3 mana cost. So we need to go hard on this turn and get a lot of cards. So even if he kills the geeks, which he will do anyway on the next turn probably, he also needs to sacrifice land, you know, waste his whole turn, and still gets a lot of damage. And if Glissa hits, alright, that's probably the best case for him. Yeah, as you can see, he's preparing to blow everything at 3 mana cost, or 3 mana cost. I keep saying it, I know it, but I'm just concentrated on the other stuff all the time. And that's a good land for this turn. So no, he's at 10. He needs to waste whole turn just to kill, what, 3 cards, and there are left still. And then we can play Nissa. Yeah, then we play Nissa and we get a lot of stuff done. That's still a good trade, but it puts him a little bit behind, and he still cannot attack because, like, we just raise him then, right? Let's play like this. Takenuma is really good. And man, Nissa. Oh, I like it. Can we play it like this? Yes, we can. Are you an enchantment? Unfortunately not. However, now we definitely can ram those things. And now he needs to kill us very quickly, and he has only green mana. My friend, I don't think green mana does the thing that you need them to do. Them, I just personified mana. Man, like, at some point the commenter just gets wild. Alright, 4 mana. Look at the top 6 cards of library, 2 lands into battlefield tapped. If you put fewer than 2, proliferate. Oh, I like it. It's a cool card. I like it. Alright, so we cannot proliferate. They do not have sweepers because they are playing green. So we play this, we make a creature, and we have full board of huge creatures, and then we ultimate on the next turn and we just trample them. Okay, that was a nice showcase for the deck, especially the 1-drop.